What's up, Cowboys Nation? We know this team is constantly striving to improve, looking for the right pieces to get back to the playoffs and chase a Super Bowl. After a disappointing 7-10 season, it's no surprise that big moves could be coming this offseason. And right now, two huge rumors have Cowboys fans talking. Could Amari Cooper return to Dallas and reunite with Dak Prescott? Is Rico Dowdle on his way out, possibly signing with the Steelers? We're breaking it all down today. But first, if you love Cowboys content, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Now, let's get into it. Let's start with the biggest rumor of the week, Amari Cooper possibly coming back to the Cowboys. NFL analyst Ian Valentino of the 33rd team has predicted that Dallas will bring back the five-time Pro Bowl receiver in free agency. This would be a major move for the Cowboys, who struggled offensively last season, especially after Dak Prescott went down with a hamstring injury in Week 9. The Cowboys haven't had a true number 2 receiver since Cooper left after the 2021 season, and while Brandon Cooks was brought in to help last season, he didn't have the impact the team was hoping for. Adding Cooper back into the mix would give Dallas a dangerous 1-2 punch at wide receiver alongside CeeDee Lamb. But let's talk about Cooper's production. Yes, he had a down year in 2024, appearing in just 14 games between the Buffalo Bills and Cleveland Browns, finishing with 44 catches, 547 yards, 4 touchdowns. But let's not forget what Cooper has done over his career. 5 Pro Bowl appearances, 7 1,000-yard seasons in 10 years, one of the best route runners in the game. Great chemistry with Dak Prescott. When Cooper was with the Cowboys from 2018-2021, he was an absolute game-changer. 292 receptions, 3,193 yards, 27 touchdowns in 56 games. That's the kind of production Dallas needs to take the offense to the next level. Now, here's the big question. Can the Cowboys afford to bring Cooper back? According to SpotRack, his market value is $14.2 million per year. That's not cheap, especially when the Cowboys are already dealing with big money contracts like CeeDee Lamb's upcoming extension, Micah Parsons' massive contract on the horizon, Dak Prescott's $240 million extension kicking in. So would Jerry Jones be willing to open the checkbook for a 32-year-old receiver? It's a tough call. But if the Cowboys are serious about contending for a Super Bowl, bringing back a proven playmaker like Cooper could be a smart investment. Now, while the Cowboys could add a weapon in Amari Cooper, they might also be losing one of their most reliable playmakers, running back Rico Dowdle. Despite the Cowboys' overall struggles in the run game, Dowdle had a breakout season in 2024, finishing with 1,079 rushing yards, over 1,300 total yards. Averaged 4.6 yards per carry with Tony Pollard gone. Dowdle stepped up and gave the Cowboys a solid running game even when the offensive line was inconsistent. But now there's a real chance he could leave in free agency. One team that could be interested, the Pittsburgh Steelers. According to Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox, the Steelers could target Dowdle as a cheaper alternative to Najee Harris, who is set to hit free agency. With Najee Harris set to become a free agent, the Pittsburgh Steelers should view Dowdle as a budget alternative. Harris split time with Jaylen Warren over the past 2 years and has a projected market value of $9.2 million annually. This move makes a lot of sense for Pittsburgh, but it would be a huge loss for Dallas. Yes, the Cowboys had one of the worst rushing attacks in the NFL last season, but that wasn't all Dowdle's fault. The running game struggled because of an inconsistent offensive line. No true number 1 back after moving on from Pollard defenses. Stacking the box with no deep passing threat, even with those challenges, Dowdle managed to produce. And now with a fully healthy Dak Prescott and a revamped offensive line, he could be even better in 2025. If Dowdle leaves, the Cowboys will have to make a move at running back. They could, what? Look to free agency for a veteran back, but the market is thin. To draft a running back, one name to watch is Ashton Jeanty, a dynamic, explosive back who could provide a much-needed spark. Either way, the Cowboys can't afford to ignore the running back position if they want to take the next step offensively. As we get closer to NFL free agency, one position stands out as a major concern for Dallas: defensive tackle. Yes, the Cowboys have needs across the board. wide receiver, running back, edge rusher, but according to The Athletic's Saad Youssef, the biggest priority should be fixing the defensive line. And the biggest decision, what to do about Osa Odighizuwa. Osa Odighizuwa. Should the Cowboys pay to keep him? Odighizuwa has been the anchor of Dallas's interior defense over the past few seasons. He's coming off a solid year and is considered one of the best defensive tackles available in free agency. The problem? He's about to get paid. Odighizuwa is expected to hit the market as an unrestricted free agent next month, and the Cowboys have a major decision to make. Re-sign him and lock down the middle of the defense. Let him walk and look for cheaper options in free agency or the draft. With Dallas's salary cap situation, keeping him won't be easy. But here's the reality. Losing him could be a disaster for this defense. Dallas's run defense was a disaster in 2024. Let's be honest, the Cowboys' run defense was one of the worst in the league last season, ranked 29th in rushing yards allowed per game, 137. Gave up 25 rushing touchdowns, struggled in big moments against physical teams. We all saw what happened in the playoff loss to the Packers. Green Bay ran all over this defense, and Dallas had no answers. If the Cowboys lose Odighizuwa, things could get even worse. The Mazi Smith problem now, some fans might say, well, we drafted Mazi Smith in the first round of 2023. Shouldn't he be able to step up? That was the plan, but so far it hasn't worked out. Mazi was supposed to be a dominant run stuffer, but his rookie season was underwhelming. He struggled with inconsistent technique, lack of impact plays, getting pushed around in key moments. The Cowboys were hoping he'd develop into a force on the defensive line, but now he's a major question mark heading into 2025. That makes Odighizuwa's situation even more important. If Mazi doesn't take a big leap and Osa leaves, Dallas could be in serious trouble up front. The Cowboys have a few different ways they could approach this situation. Option 1. Re-sign Odighizuwa pros. Keeps the defensive line intact. Proven. Player strong against the run cons. Likely expensive. Cowboys have cap limitations. Option 2. Sign a cheaper free agent. If Odighizuwa's price tag is too high, Dallas could look at other defensive tackles in free agency, like DJ Reader, Bengals. Strong against the run, but coming off an injury, Shelby Harris, Browns. Veteran presence, good depth piece, Fletcher Cox, Eagles. A long shot, but could provide leadership. These guys wouldn't replace Odighizuwa's youth and upside, but they might be more affordable options. Option 3, draft a defensive tackle. If the Cowboys decide to move on from Odighizuwa, they could go after a young DT in the draft. Some names to watch: Jerzan Newton, Illinois. Explosive pass rusher. Could go in the first round, Byron Murphy. 2, Texas. Powerful run-stuffing DT with upside, Chris Jenkins, Michigan. Strong against the run, but still developing. This could be the cheaper route, but relying on a rookie to fix the defense is always risky. The bigger picture. What this means for the Cowboys' defense: losing Odighizuwa wouldn't just hurt the defensive tackle position, it could lead to a complete defensive overhaul. There are already questions about DeMarcus Lawrence's future with the team. If Dallas loses both Odighizuwa and Lawrence, suddenly, the pass rush gets weaker. The run defense gets even worse. Micah Parsons has even more pressure to carry the defense. That's a scary thought, and after watching this team get bullied in the trenches. Last season, the front office has to make sure that doesn't happen again. So, Cowboys fans, this offseason is shaping up to be very interesting. Will Amari Cooper return to Dallas and reunite with Dak? Is Rico Dowdle heading to Pittsburgh? What other moves will Jerry Jones and the front office make? One thing is, for sure, big decisions are coming, and every move will play a huge role in whether or not the Cowboys can bounce back in 2025. And now, I want to hear from you. Would you like to see Amari Cooper back in a Cowboys uniform? Should Dallas pay to keep Rico Dowdle, or should they move on? What other moves do the Cowboys need to make this offseason? Let's get this debate going, and before you go, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of the latest Cowboys news. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Cowboys!